In my last video, I discussed the endowment effect, and now we're going to take a look at what that looks like when the property hits the market. One place that it might show up is with improvements. The seller often views improvements on a property on a dollar for dollar basis. If they did a kitchen remodel, they add $150,000 to the list price. New landscaping, another $50,000. Carpet replaced 3 years ago, another $15,000. Now, the seller assumes those expenses should be recovered, but that's not necessarily how buyers see it. The seller values the investment, the buyer values the result, and those are not always the same thing. And because of that, here's a typical pattern. First, the seller anchors to a specific price. Second, the property enters the market above buyer expectations. Third, showings happen, but offers do not. Sometimes there aren't even any showings. Fourth, days on market begin to accumulate. Fifth, price reductions occur. And sixth, the property often sells near where the market indicated value in the very beginning, or the property is pulled off the market. Sometimes it sells with the second or third listing agent because the seller viewed the lack of activity as the agent's fault rather than a pricing issue. Study after study has shown that overpricing creates friction, lengthens time on the market, and widens the gap between what sellers expect and what buyers are willing to pay. To be fair, there are times when the endowment effect wins, and I have seen it. In my 22 years of selling real estate, there have been markets where inventory was extremely low and buyers had very few choices. In a strong seller's market, a seller can ask for more than the data supports and still find a buyer willing to pay it. But those situations are the exception and they're not the rule. At the end of the day, value is determined by what a willing buyer is prepared to pay, and today's buyers are educated. So much so that before they even schedule a showing, they have access to photos, comparable sales, neighborhood information, and let's not forget ChatGPT. A property may mean a great deal to its current owner, and that's understandable, but the real estate market is ultimately looking at what that property offers to the next owner. Understanding that distinction is often the difference between a property that sells and a property that sits. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Aloha.